Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths.
In these two verses, we see two principles of life, two ways of conducting our lives. The first is to trust the Lord with all our hearts. The second is to lean upon our own understanding. Let us look at what leaning upon our own understanding means. Our understanding arises from our thinking. We think in terms of opposites. The idea of up is meaningless without the idea of down. It is the same with this and that, inside and outside, right and wrong, black and white, true and false, positive and negative, us and them, good and evil. We are caught up in a world of opposites. When we think of good, there is always the idea of evil at the back of our minds. The pair coexist. This is the knowledge of good and evil. Thus, when we think, when we lean upon our own understanding, we are aware of the knowledge of good and evil. We partake of the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. But this is precisely what God wanted Adam not to do.
But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat.
Yet Adam did exactly that and sinned. And this is the sin nature that Adam bequeathed to all men. Acting according to our own idea of righteousness, doing what is right in our own eyes. We may try to do good instead of evil, but we still sin, because we behave according to our own standards of good and evil. We are held captive by the sin nature, and we cry out with Paul,
"Oh, wretched man that I am! Who will deliver me from this body of death?"
The answer to this question lies in trusting the Lord with all our hearts. For God shares with us His understanding, His way of thinking, His knowledge and His wisdom. This is what we need to change our way of thinking in terms of opposites and think as God does. That is why we are encouraged to trust the Lord and to renew our minds.
And do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God.
When we acknowledge the Lord in all our ways, He will renew our minds and direct us to the path of His righteousness, which is beyond our own righteousness, beyond our own idea of good and evil. The renewed mind will become awakened to the good and perfect future God has in store for us.
But as it is written, "Eye has not seen, nor ear heard, nor have entered into the heart of man the things which God has prepared for those who love Him."